Hey guys, and welcome back. My name is Gothic, and we are back in again with Prison Architect. So last time we basically built a really basic sort of prison, and I've separated a couple of areas off, like the admin buildings are down at the bottom, and then we've got a utility area, and then we've got the majority of the main sort of prison on this side, with like a little reception area in the middle, just to try and help sort of like funnel the prisoners through, and then get the members of staff into the right areas. So it's about an hour until the first shipment of prisoners arrive. And what I want to do is I really want to have a look up at the utility area first of all, because we've got all these logs knocking around from all the trees that we've had to cut down in regards to building our actual facility. What I want to try and do now is I actually want to try and come back in and actually put in a storage area. So storage areas are available, so we can bob in a little storage area. I don't want it to be too big to at least start off with, and then obviously the walls and doors are going to follow. Now I've actually gone one further than I actually wanted to, so the door on this area is going to change very slightly. So the door is actually going to go in there instead, and I will put in a staff door on there and make the walls just go across there. Just we've got a little bit of an area just to tidy up this little extra little bit here, just for when people start turning up and things along those lines. And the other thing I need to do is the bureaucracy. I don't know, I never know how to pronounce that word, but what I'm going to do is we're going to have a little look at this. So this is basically your research tree. So we've got the warden, which allows us to actually open this up. And then we've got the different things. We've got finance, which eventually allows us to get more land, more grants going, bank loans, tax reliefs and things like that. Maintenance, which will allow us to get groundskeepers, janitors. We can then open up things like prison labour, so we can actually get the prisoners making things and like producing things, so we can then sell them on to the government to actually make additional money. Legal side of things, so this is actually, depending on how you want your prison to run, you could actually put smaller cells in, so the prisoners have less rights and you can actually get more prisoners in. Tends to be a lot more flare-ups and fights and things, so if you have a good security team you can actually go down that way. Legal prep and legal defence, so it's things about sort of trying to get prisoners off when they can be let off, or trying to keep them in for longer periods. Permanent punishments, so putting people in things such as solitary confinements for a lot longer. And then we can even open up things such as death row, so it can get quite grim. So, but it's one of the things you can look down, and death row is obviously one of the things that you have your higher end prisoners, so your maximum security and your legendary prisons and things like that. Education, so this will actually help unlock things like classrooms, so it'll actually re-educate your prisoners, so it'll make them more likely, or certain people more likely, to actually be released back into society and less likely to re-offend. Health will basically open up things like the infirmary and the morgue, so sometimes there are riots and things, and sometimes prisoners will kill each other or even your guards, so things like the infirmary will help with injuries, and the morgue is where the dead bodies are stored until the delivery vans turn up and take them away. Psychology, again, will actually help with prisoners and being less likely to reoffend and things like that. Prison policy, this is a lot of different things. So this is more micromanaging all your different reports and things like that. Micromanagement, again, is on this side, and that is a lot more sort of like what happens and bits and pieces. I'll go into that a little bit later on. Security adds extra security, which opens up things like deployment, intelligence, so some of your prisoners will actually end up saying, this guy's trying to break out, or that guy over there, he's got contraband, and that guy don't like each other, and they're going to have a fight in the yard and stuff like that. Patrols, which will eventually open up dogs. Patrols basically means you can get a guard and you can go walk from over there to over there and then back again, and he will just walk up and down, up and down, up and down, and patrol and keep an eye out what's going on. Dogs are quite good because they'll actually help with finding tunnels, which is really good. Remote access basically means you have the little cubicle with a guard sat in it pressing buttons, and he will open doors and stuff like that, which also leads in with surveillance, which are security cameras. You don't have to have as many guards running around, but obviously if something kicks off, you need your guards to run around and actually open up and sort of help fight. Security also unlocks the armory, which is then the more lethal side of things, which open up things like tasers, the body armor for helping defend your guards, and it also unlocks guard towers. So this is basically the as I say, the prison research tab. And I tend to find that the best one to start off with is things like security, because then you can deploy your guards into certain areas. So we can turn around and say, right, I want at least 2 guards in the reception area to make sure that people are coming in and they are going to be there and being processed, and then we can have a couple of guards in the cells. So I'm going to start off with security, and we're going to get that cracking. So let's speed up some time and let's get this. So because I've actually designated this area as storage, people are already putting stuff down. So there we go, it's already full because it's not a really big area, which is a bit of a shame. And our first prisoners are turning up, here we go. Right, so they come straight in and they are being searched. So they've got an unknown reputation, so they don't know what's going on. So at the moment the guards are just running backwards and forwards, gathering them up, because prisoners will attempt to escape. So I'll put another few guards in. So yeah, the prisoners will attempt to escape at any opportunity they get, so you have to be careful what doors you put down, and you've got to make sure that particularly when they actually get in, they are being sent somewhere by a guard. Otherwise, if they are hanging around too long, they will attempt to actually run off, and it will count as an escape. So you do need to be careful about that. So these guys are all going into cells. And the last guy's coming through. Boom. There we go. So it is currently free time. So if you click on here, it'll actually go through. So we've got minimum and medium security. We haven't got any medium security. But basically, it'll actually break down the day on what is actually happening, and it'll break it down into colours. So up until 6 AM is sleep. At 7 AM it's lock up. So basically the prisoners are waking up, but they're remaining in their cells. 8 AM is the shower. So they'll run down to the shower and have a shower, so they keep nice and clean. Then they go back to their cells for an hour, which is lock up. Free time, which is basically now, so they can walk around, they can do things and stuff like that. Another 2 hours of lock up. Then they'll go to eat. Then they'll have yard time, so they'll all run out into the yard and do some bits and pieces in the yard. More lock up, more free time, lock up, back to the canteen and stuff to eat, lock up, and then sleep. And you can actually change these up, and you can also change them depending on the different types of the security. So for example, if we had a medium security block of cells down here, rather than trying to keep everybody in the same area, we had one down here, we could actually turn around and say the yard times and eating times for the medium security would say the other way around. So it's less likely that the two groups of prisoners are going to meet, because if say medium and a maximum security prisoners meet, the maximum security prisoner is more likely to try and attack them. It's just one thing that adds extra sort of thing. So if you've got very small space but you're really good at managing things to make sure that people's paths don't cross, and if they do cross, they cross for very limited amounts of time, then you've actually got a really good way of actually managing that and making sure that your prison runs very well on a really small area. So it's currently lock up, so we'll speed through a little bit. I'm just trying to wait to get the security sorted out, so then we can start researching patrols and deployments and stuff, so we can actually have, so we've got a guard already stationed in the reception. Oh, I know what we need to do. I'm going to take one of the offices away, because what I'm going to do, dismantle that, and dismantle that. I'm going to change this one into staff room. Boom, staff room. So we need a drinks machine and we need a wide sofa. So where is a wide sofa? Boom, I'll put 2 sofas in, and I'll put a drinks machine in. Boom, sorted. So little staff room, nice little staff room here, so that's all cool. So when the members of staff get tired, they can come over here and have a bit of a rest, so that's going to be helpful. It'll keep the staff alert, it'll keep them happy, keep the prisoners safe. That's what we're trying to do. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. Oh, not the grading, don't want the grading. I don't want to know how bad I'm doing. Reports, here we go. Grants, right. So we can do some more grants to see what other things we could do in regards to trying to get more money. So we've got the administration centre, build 2 offices, got that. Hire a warden, got that. Unlock finance through the bureaucracy, haven't got that yet. but we can get there, and then we can hire an accountant. That's $5,000 up front, and then $5,000 to complete, and this will tell you how much it's worth in completely. Medical ward, 2 doctors and a psychologist. Maintenance, and then alright, so that's basically maintaining the prison, getting janitors and things like that. Visitation rights is in regards to visiting rooms and things. 10 guards, unlock patrols, assign 3 guards to patrol routes. So this is basically one that I'm almost working towards at this moment in time anyway. Build a staff room, 5 guards without assigned duties, ensure that none. I'm going to click on this one because I'm basically doing that right now. I'm just building my staff room, and there it is, done, sorted. So some of them you actually are doing as you're going along, but just make sure you keep on checking them, because once you've actually done the criteria for one of them, it will be removed off of your list, but because you haven't actually gone into it and said I'm working towards this grant, you won't get the money for it. So be very careful and make sure you keep checking on them, because I've done it a number of times where I've gone, I'm going to do all of this, and then you forget to do it. So these ones are all locked. So I'm just saying as well, all of these ones are locked. So for example, we need to get, so we've got the basic detention centre, but we need to unlock finance to get cell block A, and essentially it will tell you what you need to do for cell block A, which is raise your prisoner capacity to 15. So as soon as we unlock finance, if we're on our way to doing that, we can go, right, that's the next one we're working towards. Same with the maximum security infrastructure implementation. There, what a load of words. And that's just unlocking a lot of stuff and building a lot of stuff. Prisoner acclimatization and engagement. So that's basically assigning prisoners to start working in certain areas of the prison. So basically it's just all this stuff about how you can try to get the money out and get all this stuff sorted. So I think the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to do the administration centre. Because then what I can do is, I do want to do the patrols. I really want to do the patrols and the deployment particularly, but I'm going to do the finance, because one of the people that I can now get is the chief of staff. So he will go and get himself an office. So I really need to get more. So what's going on here as well is this is actually like a fog of war. So because I've got no officers patrolling along here, it all greys out. So the way you can stop that is by getting officer patrols to go backwards and forwards and making sure that they can see everything that's going on, because then they'll be able to sort of like alert you and the rest of the facility if anything is kicking off. And the other way you can do it is by the CCTV cameras. So as soon as you get a CCTV camera station and you get the CCTVs installed, they're linked up and they start working, they'll scan around and you'll be able to see through this fog of war. So it's just one of those things that makes this game a little bit harder. You can turn them off in some of the option menus, but I quite enjoy it because it just adds that extra sort of thing of, are they fighting? Is everyone well behaved and having a nice time? I don't know. So it's that extra little thing of, uh-oh, what is everything going wrong, or is everything okay? Let's get sped up and let's wait until finance is sorted. Okay, so while the finance is actually working its way through being researched, what I've done is I've actually set my work crews to actually just make this area here a fenced area. So it's very similar to the one that we've got around the yard, but again, what this is just going to do is it's just going to help channel the prisoners up through this way here and into the sort of reception area to start off with. So again, it just makes it I say a little bit less likely for them to run off. It's always going to be a possibility, because as soon as a prisoner can escape and has the opportunity to do so, they are going to attempt to do that. So again, you have to be very careful, but it's just taking that extra little bit. So the only way they can really run is straight out this way. Unfortunately, the edge of the map is right here, and as soon as they get to the edge of the map, they will disappear and it will count as an escape. But it just means it is a little bit less likely for them to run off in different directions, splitting my security teams up. So that's all I've done there, and it's actually finished. So we'll go back into bureaucracy, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. So the next thing we have to do is actually hire the accountant. So I can do that, and what I'll do is I will unlock patrols. So I'll get some patrols going with my guys, and we'll get the staff, we'll get the accountant, we'll bob the accountant in, and there we go. Grant completed, 5,000. Awesome. So because we've actually opened that one up, we can actually now start looking at things like finances and stuff like that. So it tells you income, expenditures, and I quite like the way that you have to actually go through and unlock certain things and things like that to actually try and get more of a running and an understanding of your prison going through. So because we've opened the finance, the cell A has actually unlocked here, so we now have that as a possibility. So we've got 6 cells at the moment, so if we build these ones, it'll be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're still a few short, but then what we can do is we can actually stop this being a cell and make a new cell over here. So that would basically relocate this guy over to a new cell over here. We could destroy this cell, as I said in the previous video, and we could start making a bigger sort of wing up in this direction. So there is that as a possibility that what we can do. And then we've got the other grants and stuff down here. So at the moment there's 70 prisoners available. So if I actually went mad and actually went really quick in building a load of stuff up, I could actually get another 70 prisoners in, which would be mad. At the moment I literally have, staff wise, I almost have a 1-to-1 ratio, which it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's going to be nice and safe. However, is that going to be the best way of actually spending the money? And I probably don't think it is. So what I'm going to do is I am going to start building a few more cells. Like so. And we'll get some of the doors in as well. So these are already... I've actually built these cells too small. That's only a 2x2. I need it to be a 3x2. So these cells aren't actually going to work. So what I need to do is to demolish that wall, which is a bit of a pain. Because it needs to go along there. That's what I need to do. So it's a 2x3 or 3x2, however way you want to look at it. So slight miscalculation, but easily rectified. Let's have a look at what's going on. So prisoner intake, filter capacity, which we have done, and that will continue. We've got one family waiting to come and visit. We haven't got any visitor areas or anything like that, so unfortunately you're going to be waiting a little while. And feed all the prisoners, so prisoners, and we've got number of prisoners, and then we've got the number of meals that have been made, so all of our prisoners are going to be fed, so lucky them. So what I'm going to do is remove what kind of room it is. Is it? There you go, you right click and hold there. So I'll assign those to be cells. And then what I'll do is I'll get some new bits and pieces in. So we'll get some more toilets. Some more beds. Like so. And then what I'll do is I will get that bed and dismantle it, and that toilet and dismantle it, and we'll speed that up. So now one of our prisoners doesn't actually have a cell, which is why up in this area it's actually got 6 prisoners and 5 spaces. Oh, I need to connect up the water pipes. There we go. So that should all connect up. Come on. Right, do I need... Right, I will need to extend this cable up a little bit, try and get them up ready for the lighting, and that should be pretty much ready. So they're all getting food. We've got another 4 prisoners arriving in 11 hours, and I'm hoping we're not going to need any solitary confinement cells. I actually might use this area as the solitary confinement area. mainly just for the fact it's a little tucked out of the way. So, do you know what? Let's do it. Let's just get some in just in case. Now, solitary confinement area is really, really harsh. You literally need 1 square, and that is all the space you need. Solitary confinement, click and click. They'll build the walls and they'll put the solitary door in, and that'll be it. So it's there as a just in case. Right, speed everything up, get everything sorted. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some deployments done. So we'll get patrol. Literally just across there like that. Assign a guard. So there. So we've now got a guard patrolling up and down this area here. So if anything happens, we hopefully got a guard on point so they can turn around and go like, oh shit, something's kicking off. We need to get something sorted out. So have the solitary confinement. Are they actually solitary? Yes, they are solitary confinements. Oh, yeah, there it is. Solitary and solitary. So they are solitary confinements. So perfect. Right, need to start sorting something else out now. So the next thing I'm going to do is I want to try and keep it a little bit clean as well. So I'm going to get the maintenance guy. What I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to make another office for this guy because he is going to need an office as well. So I will build another foundation just out here. So all the way across, and then if I go 5 deep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the wall comes down there. That'll be an office. That'll be an office, and there'll be another sort of little corridor. I could even destroy that wall to be perfectly fair. Put one of the maintenance guys in there, and then we can start looking at recruiting some janitors just to try and come around and give this place a little bit of a spruce up, make sure it looks a bit nicer. And so far, because the prisoners are well behaved and they are behaving themselves quite well, I am going to drop into the yard. What should we put in there for them? We'll put in... I'm not going to put a boxing ring in. That's a little bit extreme. Oh, it needs to be indoors anyway. Okay. We'll put in a weights, a couple of weight benches. There we go. There we go. Just to keep them, try and keep them a little bit sort of happier. There we go. Sorted. Boom, awesome. Still got a lot of stuff up here. That's going to have to be expanded at some point, but at least it's just mostly out of the way. I'll dump the box. Get rid of that. There we go. Right. Boom, and that's it. So we've got some more cells sorted out. We have unlocked a load of stuff. Maintenance guy is pretty much ready to rock and roll. Oh, I need an entrance, damn it. Right, instead of putting an entrance in, I am going to demolish that section of wall. So if I demolish that, that'll open up that as a corridor. There we go. And then I can just go staff door, click, staff door, click, walls. Boom, 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 boom. Awesome. I can then go objects. And I already know what I need. I just need to find it. So I need an office chair. I'll do 2 offices at once just to try and keep everything sorted out. I need an office desk, which is there. And then I need some filing cabinets. 1 there and 1 there. Member of staff. Does the foreman need an office? Requires an office. Yes, he does. Right. Not a problem, sir. Your office will be ready ASAP. I also need to actually make them offices. Office. Boom. And boom. There we go. And can I get some janitors, get some cleaning stuff going on? Cool. So again, we've got about 20 minutes before the next load of inmates turn up. What I'll do is I'll get the inmates in, get them settled, and we will call the episode there. So it's been a bit of a slower episode today. Oh, so this guy we've found drugs on this guy, so he's going to end up going to solitary confinement. There. So he is now in solitary confinement, and he will remain in there for 2 hours because we found the drugs on him. And then this will be his cell here because it's the only one that's free. Naughty, naughty Mr. Prisoner. Right, so we've got 10 prisoners in at the moment, which is, we're doing okay. I'd say we're doing okay. Probably people who are really well played at this game are going to be going, haha, you've only got 10 prisoners on day 5. Ha 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 ha. I had death row by that point. You know what? Fair enough. I hope you do. You know, if that's the way you want to go through. I'm just taking my time. Nice and chilled. I don't want anyone to escape. So I want to leave this episode here. We've done a little bit. Next episode, I'm probably going to try and start expanding north a little bit, using this old cell, taking out the door, taking out the walls and stuff, and using that as almost like a corridor, heading up, extending this area of the prison up, possibly keeping this as the holding cell. I don't even know if I've actually put that down as a holding cell. Have I actually done that yet? Because if I haven't, I am such an idiot. I have done it as a holding cell, so it is a holding cell. I'm not as much of an idiot as I thought. Phew. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at building up here a little bit further. I might even make, like, for example, a dormitory or a couple of dormitories just for additional sort of like storage space of prisoners. I know it's probably not the right term to use by any stretch of the imagination, but there's just a bit more room. Put some extra cells in and stuff like that. Possibly expand the size of the yard. Possibly build another shower block up there. Possibly chuck in some more tables and benches and things into the canteen, so we've got more. Possibly adding another cook in there as well, just to make sure. And then basically just having a little look through the bureaucracy area and just seeing what else we could do. But first of all, we will need to get things cleaned and sorted out. So I'm going to leave the episode here. As I say, very simple prison to start off with. Eventually I'm hoping to get some like medium prisoners in here and stuff like that. Oh, player can click on any prisoner and punish them. The options available depends on the facilities at the prison. Punishing a prisoner makes them less likely to... I can't read this handwriting. I can't read at the best of times. I'm struggling with this writing. Punishing a prisoner makes them less likely to try escape for a while. Overly strong punishment makes them more violent. Options: beating, light or heavy. Wow. No meal, confined to cell, solitary confinement cell, etc. Cool. So this is something that they've actually brought in. I don't know how old this is, but you get little pages. So I've obviously played around a little bit before now, and you can get these pages, and it just gives you like hints and tips. I thought it was actually somebody escaping. And the great thing is they're just sort of like dotted around on the map, or you can find them in a prison cell or something like that. So keep your eyes open for those if you are playing this game. But anyway, like I said, nice little simple prison. Hopefully we'll get into things like medium security and possibly even things like maximum security and stuff a little bit later down the line. We're just going to see how it goes. I'm just going to take it nice and slow and steady. So it might be that, for example, in the next episode I come back in and I've already built this sort of wing up here and things like that, because you already know how to build. So I've just sort of gone in, built it and done everything, and so everything's rocking and rolling and we've got more prisoners and things like that. See how it goes. But thanks very much for joining me. If you do like this, please put a comment in the comment section down below. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and please, I am desperate for you to tell me what games you would like to be played. Any sort of ideas that you can throw my way, please do. I will listen to all the ideas that you do throw my way. and I will see what I can do. I promise nothing. All I can promise is that I will try my best to see what I can do about it. Thanks very much, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Gothic Gaming.